Good morning. Good morning, all. Happy Friday. Happy end of this very interesting, crazy week. Welcome to Sun and Moon's Yoga YouTube channel. We're here every weekday morning from 10 to 10:30. And my name is Jennifer Eubank. I'm here from 10 to 10:30 on Fridays. And we'll be getting started in just a few moments. Please grab a blanket and a couple of blocks if you have them on hand. They're not necessary for today's practice, but they can come in handy. And let me know if you're here, give a little shout out. We'll get started in a few minutes. I think I came in a little early. Yeah, it's not quite 10 o'clock even. So we'll give it a few moments. I have my mat set up so that you can see the long side. The two short sides are on either end. And if you can set up your mat like that this morning, and in general, I tend to use the long side for my instructions. Sometimes we'll turn to face the short, but usually we'll do this. And today's practice will be facing the long side in totality for the whole time. So you may want to put a blanket down on your mat for you, have your blocks nearby. I'm going to go ahead and take off my socks. Good morning. Looks like someone has joined us. Good morning, Catherine. Good to see you. Thank you for popping in and saying hello. Wait a couple more moments. Good morning, Susan. Good to see you this morning. Thank you for saying hello. Thank you, thank you. So we'll go ahead and get started. Like I said, try to have your mat facing the camera in a way that your long side is facing the camera, short ends on either end. Perhaps a blanket for your bum to make your seat a little more comfy. Blocks nearby if you might use them. Again, we don't need to have them. We'll just use them very briefly. Today, again, I'm Jennifer Eubank here on Fridays from 10 to 10:30. You can have a live experience and take my Zoom classes with Sun and Moon on Thursdays from 4 to 5:15. But I'm here every Friday. Delighted to be here. Feeling a little nervous. So I'm going to take a couple of deep breaths. Find my ground. Got butterflies in my stomach. I always get butterflies in my stomach and up in my chest when I first start these videos. And by the end, I'm like, I could do this all day. And it's because I start to employ my breath as I teach and as I practice with you. Breath is so vital. And I wanted to focus on the breath today because we all need to take a deep breath. We need to take several deep breaths. So maybe you'd like to take a couple of deep sighs of relief. Relief. I don't want to spoil things. I don't like to get too political here, but I feel like change is in the air and I feel really positive today. I'm very excited and I hope you are too. The breath, so very important. We take it for granted. I want to give you a couple of facts about the breath. I've been doing a lot of research this week. Number one, the average person takes about 20,000 breaths a day. Yet, the average person only breathes to his or her third capacity, 1/3 capacity, meaning we employ shallow breath, especially when we're worried and concerned and rushing and have crammed too much into one day. things that we tend to do these days. And as we start to employ more shallow breath, it has very adverse effects on our mental health and our physical health, as well as our energetic health. If you're running around like that all day, yeah, you're going to be tired by 2 o'clock in the afternoon. But if you breathe in a much more full capacity manner and really focus on the breath and take the time to build the breath from the beginning to its crescendo to the end, you might find over time that you'll start to have more energy, your health, your immune system will be stronger, your cardiovascular system will be vamped up, you might be more focused, you might sleep better at night. All of these things can happen if you pay attention to your breath. So today, I'd like to start in a seated position, and we have a very, very simple practice. Very simple. Starting in a seated position, and you decide which seat feels right for you. And put your hands on your knees. I'm on my blanket, raising the seat a little bit, giving my hips more room to spread out, giving my torso a little bit more foundation to stabilize and rise up. And I draw the belly in and I lift my sternum, my heart, and I feel my chest starting to widen, my collarbones start to widen, my shoulders, the front and the back, my ribs. The whole torso starts to widen and settle and expand just by rooting into the earth, drawing my belly in, and lifting my heart. And then what happens? My breath goes, hey, what's going on here? I want to get in on it. And your breath just starts to expand automatically. And we'll focus today on poses that open up our torso and expand the torso, because as we improve our posture and improve the space in our torso, then we breathe more. If throughout the day you're starting to find yourself like this, then you have diminished your lung capacity because you've smushed everything together. So we want to sit up really tall and work on expanding our torsos and using the breath to enhance that. Maybe close the eyes for a few moments and maybe put the hands on the belly. And let's do a little bit of belly breath. As you inhale, the belly generally rises first, and as you exhale, the belly softens back down towards the spine. That's usually what happens for most people. See if you can find that action. And then as you find it, see if you can enhance it and intensify it. Take bigger breaths, taking that breath right into the belly and expanding it with the inhale and softening it with the exhale. And feel the expansion first with the breath, but then your muscles might start to get on it. And you can start to feel those muscles helping the expansion and the deflation. And this is a very grounding, soothing breath. Belly breath. It keeps us rooted and grounded and calm. Take a few more of these breaths. You can take your hands off the belly. If you put them on there, you can feel it a little bit more. And then as you're ready, back off of that. And just take a couple of regular breaths and maybe open the eyes again if you close them. And then we'll switch it. We'll take the breath from the we'll, instead of taking it down into the belly, we'll take it into the rib cage, the thoracic region. And we've been talking a lot about the ribs in the past few weeks. So again, as you are sitting solidly with purpose, draw the belly in and lift your sternum, and take your inhales and exhales through the mouth, nose, close the mouth, maybe the eyes, and see if you can start to break the breath into the rib cage. And notice the ribs expanding in all directions with the inhale and deflating in all directions with the exhale. This is called thoracic breathing. And this is a little less grounding. And I can feel that. I'm already starting to lose my words. When I was talking with my belly breath, all the words came very clearly to me. And as I started that, I started to feel a little bit more tense. But as I settle into it, I realized that there's a real purpose to this thoracic breathing. It serves good purpose. It helps you to expand your breath in all directions, the fronts, the sides, the backs, and bring the breath up higher. You just don't want to spend all of your day breathing up into your chest. But it does serve its purpose. It brings energy. It's really good for vinyasa and faster paced yoga. Inhale, feel the rib cage expand in all directions, and exhale, feel it deflate. Maybe the hands are on the ribs for this, maybe not. Do a few more of those. So the breath goes right up into the chest, the ribs and the chest. First the ribs, and you might just start to feel it expand the chest, the collarbones, and the upper back and shoulders. And then as you're ready, back off of that and see if you might combine the two. The best breath employs both of those. So if you can get in the habit of belly breathing and full capacity breathing, find a healthy combination between those two breaths, you might find a calmer, cooler, more collected you, maybe, that feels more energetic and that can face the challenges of life more thoughtfully and calmly, paying more attention to details, learning more from the experience and gaining from it rather than fighting it. And as you're ready, we can back off that breath and we'll do some movement. And we'll try to employ that belly and thoracic breath as we expand our torsos. We'll be doing some warrior two. We're working up to warrior twos. So if you'd like to go ahead and switch your legs, do that. And we'll spend just a few moments warming up the body, hands out to the sides, draw the belly in, lift your sternum and your heart, finding that expansion in your torso, the fronts, the sides, and the backs. And as you're ready, inhale the arms up overhead, and exhale, float them back down. Peacocks. Let's just do 5 of these. Inhaling up, exhaling down, and feel free to let out an exhale or 2 with your mouth. Breathe a nice sigh of relief. You can even extend the exhale to be longer than the inhale, which can help you let go a little bit more and let go of all the air that built up in your lungs. We tend to trap air into the lungs. We don't let it all go. So if you let it all out, you create more room to bring in more air. Let's do some rainbows. Belly belly drawn in and the chest lifted, good and solid in your seat. And as you're ready, inhale the arms up overhead and exhale your right hand down, place it onto the floor. When you're ready, use an inhale to reach up and exhale, curve over to the right. And keep the sits bones and the hand on the floor rooted into that floor. And as you're ready, inhale up and go to the other side. Exhale lands us onto the other side, painting the rainbows. And we'll go back and forth, inhaling with one motion and exhaling with another. I inhale as I lift and expand, and exhale as I curve. That emphasizes my landing and my connection to the earth and helps me curve a little bit more and expand my torso a little bit more. And you guessed it, yes, take bigger, nicer, fuller breaths. Maybe let one or two out with your mouth here. And these last few, as we curve, let's kind of rotate our chest and look a little up at the ceiling. Feel a little bit more expanded in the chest. If it's there for you, you don't have to do that if you don't want to. Let's go one more time each side. Moving our spine back and forth from side to side. And as we open up our spine, we can bring a sense of organization to the overall skeletal system, and that might help bring a little bit more width and space and expansion to your torso. And as you're ready, let's do a few twists. So twists are really good expanding the chest, and we learned that a few weeks ago as we did our twists. So sit up nice and tall, solid, rooting into the earth, root into your body. Use an inhale to lift up. Use an exhale to twist right. And let the hands land wherever they land. And as you inhale, come right back up to the center. Find that length in the middle. And exhale to the left. Hands land wherever they land. Inhale back to center. Exhale back to that first side. And we'll go back and forth, maybe about 10 rounds, and just notice what's happening as you continue the sequence. Are your knees starting to get a bit looser, allowing you to keep a nice, strong foundation? Are your sit bones becoming a little bit more rooted, giving you that earth energy, rising up from it, finding that expansion? These last few, notice how you might feel a little bit more wide up in the chest and the collarbones and the upper back than you do in the lower part of your torso. Trying to find that expansion in our chest so we can find that nice, full capacity breathing. Let's go one more each direction. Shoulders are soft as you go back and forth. Face is soft. Eyes are soft. As Amir would say, eyeballs are soft. Come on back down, back to the middle. Just notice how you feel. Take a couple of breaths. And then when you're ready, let's do this. Let's come up onto our hands and knees and grab your blocks. And make sure your blocks and your knees and your feet are all on your mat. Okay, so maybe your feet aren't, they might be hanging off a little bit, but when you bring your foot up, we do a cat lunge. I believe we've done this before. So you're in your table with your blocks, and then you draw the belly in, lift the sternum to help you pick up that right leg and bring it out to the side. And make sure the ankle is under the knee. And we'll spend a few breaths here, organizing and finding safety and stability. And then start to make your way up. And spend a few breaths finding your security lifted up. Again, foot under the knee. Sometimes my foot comes out a little bit further, and that's okay, as long as your foot's not inside of the knee, okay? And make sure you're facing the front. Bring the arms out to the sides. And as you're ready, belly drawn in and the chest lifted, find a nice expanded, even torso in the front and the back and the sides. Good foundation, solid knee, solid foot. Use an inhale to lift up and an exhale to expand out. I call these sunbursts. Inhaling as you rise and exhale as you expand out. All the while, keep the knee on the floor solid, the foot on the floor solid, and even the foot behind the knee. This knee meaning the foot you can't see. Keep that foot pretty active. Find balance and evenness in the bottom half of the body. Balance in that bottom half, in the structure, as well as your ability to stay up. And keep going and expand your torso and expand your lung capacity and take bigger breaths. Let's do one with a mouth exhale. Draw that one out. And next time you exhale, let's exhale out into warrior two arms. So warrior two arms, the arms are out to the sides, shoulder height, and spin a few breaths, palms facing the floor. Drawing the belly in, lifting the sternum, and feeling that nice expanded torso, the chest, the ribs, the front and the back. And then as you're ready, let's go ahead and inhale the arms up overhead and take a little over the head stretch for a couple breaths. Things are even on the bottom half, and then as you're ready, slowly exhale the arms down, keeping that expansion in your torso, the front, the sides, and the backs. Even though you've brought those arms down, so you haven't done something like this, you're still standing up tall on your knee and foot. And then let's go ahead and go the other side. And I did not mention if you have sore knees. She says as her right knee starts to get a little sore, maybe you want a blanket under those knees. And we'll start with the cat lunge first, belly drawn in and chest lifted to help you pick up that foot. The foot is on the same plane as the knee and the hip here. And then as you're ready, start to lift up. This side takes me a little bit longer to assimilate because I have a hip injury going on over here. So, and I might put my foot out a little bit further because of that at some point to give my hip the space it needs, to give my torso the space it needs to lift up and expand. So if I'm crunched here, that can affect what's going on up here. So find that foundation so that you can expand your chest and your ribs and your upper back, and then you can find the most of this movement. Inhaling as you lift and exhaling as you expand out. And keep things even between the foot and the knee. Inhaling, expanding and lifting and floating. Shoulders are soft. Muscles are strong, but the joints are soft and loose. Belly drawn, heart lifted. Nice big inhales, nice big exhales. Maybe take one with the mouth. It's going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay. I'm going to do one more, because my hip is screaming at me. Let's land in our warrior two arms when you're ready. And hang out for a couple of breaths. Maybe turn your head in the direction of the warrior two arms. You don't have to if you don't want to. Find evenness and balance between the effort, the strength, and the energy in that bottom half to support that upper half. And as you're ready, perhaps take one more stretch overhead. Exhale, float those arms down. And then let's go ahead and come back to table for just a moment. And we're almost done. So at this point, let's go ahead and stand up. So you may use your blocks to stand up, or maybe do a downward facing dog. And we have just a few more minutes. I'm going to do my best not to go over because I've been going over lately. I get so excited and passionate about what I say, and because I really love this stuff. It's just helped me so much, and I want to share that with you. So I'm going to keep it to 10:30 today. All right, let's go wide. So this is why I have the mat facing this way. We'll do some warrior twos. Feet are wide, and then go ahead and turn your feet to the right. And make sure the left leg is good and strong as you bend your right knee. Find that good foundation on the bottom half. Even things up. Draw the belly in, lift the sternum, and as you're ready, bring those arms up. And soften the shoulders and the elbows. And perhaps look over the right fingertips. Keep both feet good and solid and strong. And then as you're ready, use an inhale to straighten the leg and turn the feet and bring the hands overhead. Keeping that expansion in our chest as we transition to the other side. So we turn our feet to the left, and when we find that good solid bottom half, we bend the left knee. Arms are straight-ish but soft. Legs are strong, but the joints are soft. And then as you're ready, use an inhale to make your way back to the center for a couple of breaths. And if you need to bring the arms down, that's fine. Or you can keep them up. Maybe take another stretch by turning those hands up. Keep the belly drawn in as you lift up, and that'll protect the lower back. I've learned that the hard way. And as you're ready, let's go to warrior two on the other side one more time. And see if you can go a little deeper this time. So we found our warrior two the first time. A little bit more familiar this time. Maybe then you can focus on your breath. And take nice big inhales and nice big exhales. Breathing up into the rib cage and into the chest and the shoulders, as well as into that belly. And then as you're ready, I like to use an inhale to make my way back to the center, because with inhale comes lift and inspiration. Inspire means to breathe. Come to the other side, expire, exhale. Make your way into your warrior two over here. Notice, can you find a good solid warrior two? And as you do, can you focus more on your breath? Nice big inhales and fully letting go of all that air with the exhale. And then as you're ready, use an inhale to come back to center. Clasp those hands over head if you can, and turn them and reach up, and maybe heel toe the feet in a little bit to do this. Because my feet go nice and wide for warrior two, but as I hang out here in the middle, that width is a little too wide. So I come in a little bit. Stay here for just a couple of breaths. Keep the feet wide, belly drawn in, heart lifted. Let's let's lift the arms up. Let's just stay here for a few breaths. Soften your shoulders, soften your knees, soften your face, your forehead, your eyes, your eyeballs. And take nice breaths here, nice big inhales and nice big exhales. Maybe you can do a little bit of that belly and thoracic breathing. The belly rises, the rib cage expands out, the collarbones widen, the shoulders widen. More expansion. Your arms might be getting tired, but if things are good and solid on the bottom half, this might be a little bit easier. And the breath can help assimilate and integrate the two halves. Breath is the great integrator. Use an exhale whenever you're ready to bring those hands and arms back down. Stay here for a couple of breaths. Feel that expansion and height in your torso. And then as you're ready, heel toe back to mountain. And take a couple more breaths. If you need to do a little bit of moving around, bending the knees, marching in place, do so. Find a good strong mountain. And then ease up on your mountain. So you want it strong and solid, but you want it to be loose and fluid, just like your breath. Strong breath that is fluid and gentle, not forceful. Feel that wave of breath going through your torso as you breathe in. Draw it into the belly, bring it up into the ribs, feel the chest and your shoulders and your collarbones and the upper back, even the shoulder blades in the back expanding, promoting better posture. Standing up tall with a good solid posture, you'll get noticed more when you walk in the room. Not that that's what this is about. But you'll exude a better energy. People will pick up on that positivity. You'll spread it. Spread that good breath. This might not be the best time to have said that. I really appreciate you being here today and every Friday, 10 to 10:30. Again, I'm Jennifer Eubank. Thank you so very much. Hands to your heart center. Lift your heart, draw that belly in, and namaste. Thank you so very much. And I did it. It's 10:30-ish. And I'm going to say probably the most stressful part of my day was getting my bubble wand to time correctly so that I actually had bubbles blowing for my picture. And that long sigh of breath, it made everything happen. I'm like, look, the bubbles showed up in the picture. So that just goes to show you, the breath is some pretty powerful stuff. Have a great weekend. Enjoy this beautiful weather. And yes, go Pennsylvania. There, I said it. Goodbye, everyone. See if anybody is here before I leave. Feel free to pipe in if you're still here. I went, well, no, I didn't go over. Thank you, Susan. Yeah, every now and then we just need a little bit of light movement and mostly breath. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. And feel free to come back to this video throughout anytime. Thank you, Catherine. Anytime you can go back and see these videos. We have quite a a large archive building with lots of different teachers and lots of different lessons. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great weekend. Breathe easy. I have to go out on some quiet, easy breath. There, that's better.